Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back, guys at Magic. This is Hunter, Shane, and David. Say what's up, boys.
What's up, boys?
What up, nerds?
We're back. We did not do a video over the weekend because, like always in every spoiler season, the weekend is slow. So there really wasn't that many cards. But adding on to today turns into a lot. So maybe going forward, we will make a little weekend video just to ease ourselves from talking about so many cards today. But as you know, there is no Steven today, which is sad because this first card we're talking about is Steven's bread and butter. This first card is Cut Your Losses. Cut Your Losses is 4 and 2 blue for a sorcery that has casualty 2, meaning as you cast a spell, you can sacrifice a creature with power 2 or greater. When you do, you can copy this spell. You may choose a new target for the copy. The spell says target player mills half their library, rounded down. So if you do the casualty 2, you're milling 75% of a player's library. If you're playing this in standard, if you have this perfectly on curve, your opponent will have 7 and then 6 cards. So if it does 75%, you're leaving your opponent with 11 cards on turn 6.
These cards aren't good. These cards are never good. I mean, even like I'm trying to wrap my head around this, and I know that mill is a little bit more efficient whenever it comes to a draft or sealed specifically, like because your opponent's decks are going to be smaller. But even then, this costs 6 mana, and even in those kind of environments, I mean, this is normally a turn 7 or turn 8 card. The game is pretty much done by that point, and this doesn't win. And then in any constructed format, same thing. I mean, it's not doing anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I'd say that the card's fun, but like think about the decks that would want this card, and I just don't think that with the cards that are in rotation currently, I just don't see this. Like maybe when Tosh City's Laughter and like the Crab rotate, right? Maybe this would be seen play in one of the standard decks, but right now I just don't think it's there.
I think the biggest plus on this is it's target player, so you can mill yourself if you wanted to, if you were playing with any kind of recursion, or maybe like a big instant and sorcery spell type thing where you can bring those back. But that's all I see.
Are you breathing, Hunter?
I don't know. I don't know if I would want to mill half of my library.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
It's really not that big of a deal.
It's not. You're right. Maybe we have that. Maybe it's a EDH deck with your stupid freaking Thassa's, like you said, and that's just dumb.
This wouldn't fit into like a Thassa's Oracle deck.
Good. Then never mind. Fuck this card.
Hey, Shane, I want you to be Steven. Tell me about this card.
Oh man, I'm nutting. I love this card. I can't wait to play with it.
Cool.
That's pretty much all. He's gonna love it, and it is a good card, like I said, but it won't. I just don't think it's gonna fit into a standard deck for a minute. But I do think it will eventually.
Yeah. Well, next up we have another blue card. This is Errant Street Artist. Errant Street Artist is 1 blue mana for a 0/3 legendary creature human rogue. It has flash, it's got defender and haste, and it has an ability where you can pay 1 and a blue and tap it to copy target spell you control that wasn't cast. You may choose new target for the copy. Very, very specific. Defender haster.
Interesting.
If there's a casualty deck in standard, I could see this seeing play to be able to like get the copy of the copy going.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like super niche.
3 mana to copy a copy.
Well, the only thing I'm going to say about that,
is it worth it?
Casualty. I mean, are there many casualties that say 0? Because casualty goes after the player's or the creature's power, and this is 0.
You're not going to sack this.
Oh, okay. What are you going to sack?
You would sack another creature to use this card's ability, because if you're sacrificing this, you're not getting its ability anyways.
Well, I couldn't tell you, man.
I'm confused. You're sacking a creature to this?
No, you're sacrificing a creature to the casualty.
Ah.
So the casualty requires that you sacrifice another creature in order for you to like make the copy of the casualty card.
Right.
This would be able to then copy the copied version of the casualty. So you'd have 3 copies of the casualty going up.
My brain didn't work there for me. If you want to just Skip past that part. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, throw this on the other card. You need. I don't know. I don't think it's worth it.
I mean, at a very bare minimum, this is 3 mana for a Flash Defender. I'm sorry, 1 mana for a Flash Defender with 3 toughness. Ooh, man, I'm having trouble here.
Cards are hard today. Yeah.
That's true. It is a pretty good 1 mana defender.
Actually, you know what? The more I look at this card, I think the more that I like this for a standard. If you're trying to play something that's a little bit more slow and controlling, this gums up the board for those early aggro turns. And then late game, whenever you are trying to cast those casualty cards, or I don't know what else you could be doing, this actually could serve a purpose.
I completely agree. Against mono white, anything that can stop, like a Thalia, it's pretty good.
Talking myself into this. I'm liking this card.
Yeah, I don't see play. All right, let's move on. This next card is an artifact called Evolving Door. It costs 2 and a green. It says you may pay 1 and tap it to sacrifice a creature. Count the colors of the sacrificed creature. Then search your library for a creature card that's exactly that many colors plus 1. Exile that card, then shuffle. You may cast the exiled card. Activate only as a sorcery. David, this is a really bad pod.
I mean, it's still one that you can get in standard.
Yeah, but the whole point of the second to last sentence there is you may cast the exiled card. You don't even get it on the field.
And
cast it still.
It's also sorcery speed. There's definitely some limitations on this card. I think that these kinds of effects can still be powerful. This one obviously has some limiters on it. I don't know. I think that the counting the colors thing is also weird. Everything about this card is just odd.
Yeah, the whole tricolor theme of this set, they're really trying to do something different, but I don't think the card works.
I don't think that this works all that great either. So this is going to be at least 2 of the 6 rares that I open up in a pre-release pack.
Yeah, it'll be
This will be your promo, baby.
exactly.
Oh yeah.
What do you think of this card, Shane?
I didn't really want to say. I don't really have anything to add to the conversation on this one. I just think it's meh. I'm sure
It
it's
is.
fine, but I don't play like this anyways.
I think activating only as a sorcery really, really ruins that card.
That's just Magic nowadays, man. They need to control their cards.
I mean, unless the card that you just tutored for has flash, it pretty much only would count as a sorcery anyways.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you could. It doesn't say you have to cast the exile card that turn, though. You know.
No, it doesn't. But I mean, if you're doing this ability, chances are you probably want that creature right now.
You could do it on end step. I don't know. Save you 1 mana, but next up we have Luxior, Giada's gift. How do you say that, David?
Yep.
All right, Luxior,
China,
Giada's
what's up,
gift
dude?
is 1 mana for a legendary artifact equipment. It says equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each counter on it. The equipped permanent isn't a planeswalker and is a creature in addition to its other types. Loyalty abilities can still be activated. It has an equipped planeswalker cost of 1 and a normal equipped cost of 3.
Fuck.
Turn your planeswalker into a creature.
And the planeswalker gets a +1/+1 to its loyalty?
It gets +1/+1 for each counter on it, so that includes loyalty counters.
The fuck?
I feel like we broke Shane with this card.
It's just a weird. Like I don't. That's weird.
Pretty
Trying
cool.
to, like,
1 mana.
do new stuff, dude. Huh.
I think it's a good finisher.
Yeah, I don't know how to judge things like this because I don't know. Then you're just turning your planeswalker into a creature, and is that good?
I mean, if you're playing like a control-y style deck where you're utilizing planeswalkers for value, this could be a finisher. Throw this on your planeswalker later on whenever you've already kind of gummed up whenever you've eliminated most of your opponent's threats, and then start swinging away with it.
I think it's kind of scary. It makes the Planeswalker way easier to kill.
That's why I'm thinking more so of just kind of like this would be a late game finisher for a
Like a
control.
win more or something.
I know,
Because like the
possibly
minute you turn
actually.
into a creature, like you can do creature removal now for it. That kind of sounds sketchy.
There is also a 3-mana Planeswalker in this set, so I mean there are Planeswalkers that you can drop pretty early to be able to give this to.
Yo, we know, and you don't like that Planeswalker.
I don't. Well,
We
it's not
love
that I
him.
don't like him. I just don't think he's all that great.
Good old Mob Nixilis, dude.
What were you saying, Hunter?
So, I was just saying that it's not more of a win more, it's more of a finisher, like David was saying. This is definitely like something you want to smash in with a Planeswalker just to get that extra bit of damage.
Okay.
Moving on. Next card, we have Hostile Takeover. Hostile Takeover is 2, a blue, black, red for a sorcery that says up to 1 target creature has base power and toughness 1/1 until end of turn, and up to 1 other target creature has base power toughness 4/4 until end of turn. Then, Hostile Takeover deals 3 damage to each creature.
What?
So it kills the creature that you targeted as the 1/1.
So you target
Yeah.
their creature as a 1/1 and yours is a 4/4?
And then it does 3 damage to the board. So,
Well, just to the to each
protecting
creature.
something.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, to each creature. Not those creatures, but each.
Interesting. So you kill the big fatty, you save yours. You save your little fatty, and then you wipe the board?
Yeah, exactly. You make their big thing into a 1/1, your small thing into a 4/4, and then deal 3 damage to everything. Seems pretty good, but for 5 mana, is it
It's
worth
kind
it?
of a lot of mana.
I think this card's trash.
It's a cool
Why?
mechanic, but yeah, why, Dave?
If I'm playing a board wipe, I want a board wipe that actually wipes the board. And like for 5 mana at sorcery speed, this is slow. It's more difficult to cast than other alternatives that we already like. We okay, spoilers, but there's another Wrath coming on later on in this set or later on in this video. That's I think much better than this. I'm not a fan here. You're not guaranteed to hit everything. You're gonna hit your own stuff too, and sure, you get to remove one of their creatures guaranteed, but worst case scenario, this is a 5 mana, 3 colored single target removal spell, and that's just not good.
No, best case scenario. They have a 8/8 and then a bunch of 3/3s, and you fuck their board.
Yeah, and I get that. They're magical Christmas land, like that happens.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
just saying,
think that's going to
great.
happen very often. And if I am playing a deck that wants to be wiping the board, I want to be doing it unconditionally. I don't want to be dealing just 3 damage.
I'm just saying, dude. That's why you can save your
5
things.
mana is a lot for a board wipe.
Hey, it is. I'm playing devil's advocate. This card's not good, but someone's got to argue with David, or it gets crazy.
All right, let's move on. Next card. This is Black Market Tycoon. Black Market Tycoon is a red and a green for a 2/2 creature, cat rogue. At the beginning of your upkeep, Black Market Tycoon deals 2 damage to you for each treasure you control. You can also just tap it to create a treasure. I don't like this.
Bro, they made a bear a cat.
They did make a 2-mana 2/2 for a cat.
Shane is talking about the big things with this card.
This card is telling you, like, spend your treasure before your turn.
Hey, what's wrong with that, dude? Make treasure? Bro, it's like the real market, bro. You gotta make money and then spend money, dog. Don't be stacking them.
Would you two play a 2 mana dork? Just like 2
Yeah.
mana, tap it to add 1 mana?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I view this as.
I mean, I don't know.
But this has downside.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm saying that is like you're going to burn that treasure token that turn so that you're probably not getting hit. You can, I guess, go ahead and store it up if you really, really want to. I don't know. You can tap it and then on somebody else's turn and then eat the upkeep and then tap it a second time to get an additional treasure. So it has a little bit more upside there too. But I mean, you're not going to be playing this in a deck where you're making a ton of treasures and hoping to cash in big on them later.
I don't know, but what isn't red and like Gruul is typically the tempo style deck, kind of, right? Unless you're playing Stompy, but like think about this. You'll always just be like a land ahead, right? So turn 2, play it. Turn 3, play it. Turn 4. Turn 4, play turn 5.
That's assuming that you're not getting burned by this, but I mean, there are worlds where that extra 2 damage doesn't really matter, and in that case, you can actually get up 2 mana with this.
There you go.
So, I don't think this card is as bad, maybe, as what Hunter looks at, but I don't think that this card is fantastic by any means either.
I don't like it.
I'm not a fan of it. I don't
Why?
think I'll ever play this card.
Why?
I just don't like it, dude. I like treasures. I don't want
Okay.
treasure to hurt me for 2 damage.
So
that
spend
seems a
them.
bit excessive.
So
This
use them.
is also coming from the guy who, like, if he has treasures out and somebody's got a Ristic study, he will not burn through the treasures in order to prevent the draw. So,
Yeah, I have 9. Why would I want to spend 1?
I know that is exactly this guy here.
Moving
All right.
on.
This next card is called Reduce Population. Reduce Population is 2 and 2 white for a sorcery that says each player who controls a multicolored creature draws a card, then destroy all creatures.
What?
I don't like it.
Oh, David, I love it. It's the way better Wrath effect.
I feel like there's some heavy sarcasm in your voice there, but yeah, this is a much better Wrath effect.
No, it's not. You're giving all your fucking opponents cards.
Okay, you're giving one opponent cards because you're not playing this in EDH. In EDH, there are just better Wrath effects out there. So you're playing this in Standard. You're maybe having them draw a card, and I mean, this could be replacing itself too. You're probably gonna have a multicolored creature as well, so it cantrips.
Oops.
But I don't want my opponents to draw cards. If I want to
And-
wipe the board, I'll wipe the board.
I'm just saying that this is a much better board wipe than the one that we already saw. It's much easier to cast. It costs it costs 1 fewer mana. It actually destroys their things.
I'll tell you one card that's currently better in Standard. It's called Doomscar.
I'm not
True.
saying that this is the best Wrath. I'm just saying that from what we've seen today, I do think this is the better of the two.
From
Yeah,
what we've seen
I mean-
today, David, I'll give you that statement, you bitch.
I'll give you that too. There's one that says destroy and one that says deal 3 damage. So you're by definition correct. Well, that was all those were the spoilers from the weekend. Now today we've got the Obscura. Obscura was spoiled today, so a lot of Obscura cards today. This first one, Obscura Interceptor. Obscura Interceptor is 1 a white, blue, black for a 3/1 creature, Cephalid Wizard. It's got flash. It's got lifelink. It says when it enters the battlefield, it connives. When it connives this way, return up to 1 target spell to its owner's hand. If you guys don't remember what connives is, you can draw a card, discard a card, and then put a 1/1 counter on that creature.
So it's a 4 mana, essentially 4/2 with flash and lifelink. That seems pretty solid.
Yeah, and you can bounce a spell. You essentially pseudo counter or something.
What's a cephalid?
This guy.
Yep.
Yeah, but what is that? Like a snake?
I think it's like a squid person.
Ugh.
Like a cephalopod.
This card art's fucking gnarly.
It's actually really cool.
It is. I do like it. But what do we think about the card,
I
Shane?
mean, I don't know. I guess it's cool. Like, I agree with David. It's a 4/1 flash lifelink.
Or two, technically.
I don't like this him agreeing with me voice.
Well, that's why in my head when I agree with you, it sucks.
You
So I say quietly because I don't want to agree with you sometimes.
You need to go talk to somebody about this, man. You need to shrink.
I think this card will see play. I think it's good enough to. It's kind of like what was that card that got banned in Standard? The one that learns, also bounces stuff. It's been banned so long, I can't remember the name of it.
I don't remember either.
Guess it's not important, but I think it's kind of that similar. I know it doesn't learn, but it connives, which is drawing and discarding. So it kind of like I don't know. I think it's a really good card. Flashing stuff in, super good.
Pretty flashy, dude.
Pretty flashy. All right, the next card is Obscura Ascendancy. Obscura Ascendancy is a white, blue, black for an enchantment. It says whenever you cast a spell, if its mana value is equal to the number of soul counters on Obscura Ascendancy +1, put a soul counter on Obscura Ascendancy. Then create a 2/2 white spirit creature token with flying. Also says, as long as there are 5 or more soul counters on Obscura Ascendancy, spirits you control get +3/+3.
It's lit.
That's a lot of hoops.
It is a lot of hoops, but that's lit. I don't know if it's
I
like
like-
lit for standard, but it's lit.
Do not like this card.
I think it's rad.
I don't like this card at all.
I like this card a lot.
This is a 3 mana sit around and do.
Go ahead, continue.
What
Why
was
it's
I-
bad,
what I was
David.
saying.
I just don't think that this is a very good card. This is a 3 mana sit around and not really do a whole lot for the majority of the game.
You
It's
have
a-
to specifically cast a 2 mana spell, 3 mana spell, 4 mana spell, 5 mana spell, 6 mana spell.
And
That-
make 2/2s all along the way, dude.
Yeah, so specific though.
And then get all spirits +3/+3.
I mean, look, if you can play this and it's working for you, that's fantastic. I just don't think this is going to work for you most of the time.
I know we don't immediately talk about it, but like, I'm just gonna tip my hat. I would make this into a commander area. Like, put this in a commander deck with those colors that care about spirits. Sounds rad.
Okay, what critical threshold of 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 mana spells are you going to be running to actually be able to pop this?
All of them. What do you mean?
Because you're going to have to be drawing into those cards as well.
Yeah,
It
dude.
just sits around and does nothing.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking prove you wrong so hard, dude.
You know what? Challenge accepted.
Do it. Make a deck chain.
Fuck.
All right, we got another mythic. This is Body Cleaner. Body Cleaner is 2 and 2 black for a 3/3 creature, Ogre Rogue. It's got Death Touch. It says whenever another non-token creature you control dies, Body Cleaner connives. When Body Cleaner dies, return another target non-rogue creature card with less or equal power to Body Cleaner from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's pretty good, man. This is a really good card.
It's a really good card.
So it helps to loot you along the way. It's a fairly decent body, and whenever it dies, it replaces itself.
Yep.
And it probably will trade up every time.
Yeah, because it grows every time it connives.
That and just the death touch part. I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
that's a really good card.
I like it a lot. I think it's put at Mythic appropriately.
This is going to be absolutely awful in multiples. I mean,
Yeah.
awful in like a good sense, because then you're just going to like grab the other one and be able to put it back because the original is going to be big enough to grab it now.
Non-rogue specifically says non-rogue.
Boys and girls, if you know how to read, it helps to evaluate magic cards.
I feel like that's your that's David do a T. Can we also talk about how this ogre looks like a human? Question mark.
I was going to talk about how that's not very Shrek-like.
Yeah,
Look, man, he's just big.
ogres are like onions.
All right. Speaking of ogres, this is a Shakedown Heavy. Shakedown Heavy is 2 and a black for a 6/4 creature, Ogre Warrior. It's got Menace. It says when it attacks, defending player may have you draw a card. If they do, untap Shakedown Heavy and remove it from combat. So
Wait.
it's like it's hey, do you want to take 6 or let me draw?
Yeah, say wait, what? The player could say, just me, the guy with the ogre draws a card,
Yeah, you draw a card.
and then it just what? That seems really good. That seems really good
3 mana for a 6/4 Menace.
with no downside.
The downside is you don't get to attack. They'll let you draw.
That's cool. But
What do
you're untapping it so you can block. Okay, this card's really good.
Yeah.
You know, there was like I was gonna say the downside would be that you don't get to untap it and then or that it's tapped and you can't block, but like literally they take 6 or you draw a card and you have a blocker.
Yep. Seems pretty
David,
broken,
tell me why
right?
I'm wrong because this seems really good.
We've seen a lot of these effects in the past, and for the most part, they've sucked. I do think this is probably the best one that we've ever seen. Drawing a card is really pricey to be able to tap this thing down, and if you're not, it's punishing you.
Yeah.
6
And it's
damage
got
is
menace.
nothing to
And it's got
scoff at.
menace.
I don't know. I mean, I can see how this might be weak up against a control deck where they're just gonna like. I don't know. This card is great.
And with a toughness of 4, it gets around 3 damage spells.
You know what
Yeah,
it doesn't get around though, right?
What?
A 5-mana Grixis board wipe.
I'm gonna say Valorant stance.
No, because if I make this a 4/4, it gets around it, Dave.
No, it gets
Not if your
around it.
opponent makes it a 1/1.
Oh shit.
Checkmate, Shane.
Yo,
Ooh.
I think we're all in agreement though. This is crazy good.
Wait, can I do the David thing?
Sure.
This card is incredibly pushed. Oh my
I
god.
don't think it's incredibly pushed.
No,
I think it's a very good card.
I was cosplaying. You don't have to say anything after that, Dave. Jesus Christ.
You were cosplaying?
Just cut him out after that, dude. You just ruined the joke.
All right. Shane, you love this. This is your favorite kind of mana symbols. This is Toluz Clever Conductor. Toluz costs a white or blue, a blue, and a blue or black for a 3/1 legendary creature human rogue. It says when it enters the battlefield, it connives, meaning you can draw a card then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, exile them from your graveyard, and when Toluz dies, put the cards exiled with it into their owner's hand. So
Right.
it kind of just says, I'll use these discarded cards later.
I was gonna do a quick shout out because we did see the last video. I had a comment that did educate me on why these mana symbols are like this. So I will tip my hat. It makes sense. That's just the order that the Obscura is in. So okay, fair enough. That's all I had to say, by the way.
What do you think of the card itself?
Oh, to be honest, I wasn't really listening when you were reading, so
It connives when it enters, and when you discard 1 or more cards, you exile them. And then when it dies, you can move the exile cards back to your hand.
seems good.
Save them for later.
Yeah, it's like a little hideaway, right? Boop, boop, boop.
Boop, boop, boop.
This
What do you think?
fuels other connive cards as well, because it doesn't care where the exiled or where the discarded cards are being exiled from. So, or where the discarded cards are being discarded from, she's going to exile them either way. So I think this card is really solid. Just I don't know. I just feel like keep your eyes open. If your opponents are playing exile based removal, you're not going to get those cards back.
Mm-hmm.
That does make sense.
This is, I think, based on the fact that the color combination for this card allows you to eventually just stack it and then be like, all right, I'm getting all these exile cards back for this turn. It's very good.
It is interesting to say. As you're right. This technically just could be played in a mono blue deck. Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I think this card will see play. I think it's a, and we'll talk more about it because it is legendary, so it could be a commander.
Oh.
Next up, we have Cemetery Tampering. Cemetery Tampering is an enchantment that costs 2 and a black with a hideaway of 5, meaning when it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library, exile one of them face down, then put the rest on the bottom in a random order. It states, at the beginning of your upkeep, you may mill 3 cards. Then, if there are 20 or more cards in your graveyard, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. That's a lot of cards in your graveyard for something to get free.
Yo, this goes back to David, dude. Cut your losses on yourself, baby.
There you go, dude. Mill your
Holy
whole
shit.
deck.
David is a Notre Dame. That could be a strat, dude. Mill half your deck, then you start slanging cards like it's nothing.
Yeah, but depends on. But I mean, you're not slanging cards. You got Hideaway 5, meaning you get 1 card you play for free.
Oh, damn it.
Were you expecting all those cards to be cast for free?
I guess that would be stupid. Never mind.
So after that happens, this enchantment does nothing.
I hate it.
It's not good.
David, you're no longer Notre Dame. You're still stupid.
But I mean, I guess it still does something because you at upkeep you can still mill 3 cards.
So
I mean,
wait,
if you're doing a reanimated deck, it's pretty good.
but is this card literally like at face value on its own, saying that after you mill yourself for 20, you could play the 1 card that this card made you exile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so stupid.
Yeah, but it stays in, and you can still mill yourself. It's also a may, not a must. So
Okay. Maybe in like a different format, like modern, where you're like, yeah, like you said, you're dredging or like caring about your graveyard, but Jesus.
Jesus. Reanimation deck.
I love how I'm no longer Nostradamus and I'm back to being dumb because Shane didn't understand the card.
Welcome to the world of us when you say something, David. That was a hard sentence to say, but you know what I meant.
What do you think of
I
this
think
card, David?
I don't know. I think Shane proved my point there. I don't actually think Hideaway is very good. And I don't think this card is all that great. It's slow to be able to throw things into the graveyard. And I mean, if there is a recursion, that's awesome. And maybe this will see play. But I don't see a whole lot of upside for here, and the card is very slow on its own.
Yeah.
That would have been cool for them to bring back Hideaway and Dredge in like one set. That'd be sick. Good.
While we were talking about Obscura cards for the most part, a couple non-Obscura colors snuck through today. Spoilers. This one is Topiary Stomper. Topiary Stomper is 1 and 2 green for a 4/4 creature plant dinosaur. It's got vigilance. It says when it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. This can't attack or block unless you control 7 or more lands.
Womp, womp, womp. There it is.
Very cool. You can flicker this to get more lands.
True. And plus green, you're
But
ramping and shit.
But if I'm thinking of standard right now, the Old Grove Troll is infinitely better as a 3-drop 4/4.
Yeah. But this is a plant dinosaur, bro.
But it can't block or attack unless you have 7 lands.
Because it's a plant, dude. Think about it. You need more broccoli.
It's true.
I think I actually love this card
Why?
Hey, why, Dave?
because it reminds me of something that would have been printed like 7 or 8 years ago. It would have been like totally fine at power level for a rare. And I just feel like within the last couple of years, power creep has just gone absolutely nutty with creatures, especially creatures in green. This card isn't good, but I don't know. I miss those days.
I can hear it in David's voice. He's reminiscing.
As a Gishath player, I was reading the comments, and a lot of people want this in their Gishath deck. They haven't printed a dinosaur in a long time, so it's pretty exciting to see a new dinosaur. But I don't know if I agree, and I don't know what I would take out to put in this into my Gishath deck.
A land.
That's because they're playing a commander that costs, what, 8?
They need
7.
the mana. Anything that
You know what?
ramps them is a thing.
Just for you, we're playing Magic tonight. I'll play Gishath tonight.
Sick, dude.
Sweet. All right. He's never going to be able to cast that thing.
You didn't
And
want to play tonight.
the final card for today is called Unleash the Inferno. Unleash the Inferno is 1, a black, a red, and a green for an instant. Unleash Inferno deals 7 damage to target creature or planeswalker. When it deals excess damage this way, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls with a mana value less than or equal to that amount of excess damage.
That's interesting.
Seems pretty cool.
It's a big ass bug. Yeah.
For 4 mana at instant speed, this will kill whatever this thing hits, and it has potential upside on top of that.
Yeah.
I think I actually like this card.
Yeah, I think I do too. Gets rid of like some mana dorks and a creature.
Or you target their 1/1 to destroy their really big enchantment.
True.
I'm looking at the decks in standard right now, and I'm thinking this does 4 damage, or even 1 damage. Do 1. We'll say 4 damage. We'll do 4 damage to Lolth the Spider Queen, and then 3 damage to kill the Wedding Announcement enchantment. Sign me up.
It's a pretty good turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this card too. Seems poggers, dude.
I'm very excited to see what this set does to the standard, because it's all about tricolors. So people are going to be forced to make tricolor decks.
Oh, that's what you think.
I was to say, are we seeing any rotations? Because if we're not, it might not have impacted that much yet.
I'm just excited. I want to see some.
Oh, I know
something new.
you're always excited, dude.
I'm always excited.
You're the optimistic fucking bunny over here, dude. This is
But
gonna
that
make
is gonna
Magic
be
great again.
It is. Make Magic great again. That's what
Mag-
David's saying,
Holy
right?
shit.
No, we're not going to go down that road.
Anyways, that's it for today's spoilers. Today's Monday, April 11th. We will see you guys tomorrow for another round of spoilers. Please like and subscribe. If you haven't already, thank you again for 1,000 subscribers. We are doing a giveaway, so make sure you are subscribed to be entered into the giveaway when we announce it. Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram and our Twitter. We do talk about the rares and mythics, but if you go to our Instagram, we are posting every single card from the set that gets spoiled as they are spoiled. So follow along. Until next time, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Bye.
Later.